Hey everyone, I hope that you're doing well. I've taken a few days off in the bush and I just wanted to connect with you because that time out has really been fantastic for me. And you know what? We all need it. Let's face it, the last few weeks have been really intense energetically, from the portal shift on the 21st of December to New Year's Eve to what's happening in the USA, which is affecting all of us. And just having this time out in the bush and even able to take some sacred medicine as well and just reconnect has really helped because we find that there's just so much chatter going on. If you think about it, it's like all the radio stations are on at the moment. So how do you decipher and discern like what's actually messages coming from your higher self? So it's really important for you to take some time out if you can, even if it's just to go and sit in the garden and just switch off all technology. That includes the Wi-Fi in your house, switch off the phone, switch off the computers, and actually just go and sit for a few minutes and just connect. Because there's so much chaos going on at the moment and it's on purpose. So there's so many different narratives playing out at this moment in time. And we've got left versus right, we've got the deep state versus the alliance, we've got the awakened versus the unawakened. And I just wanted to remind you that number one, okay, the narrative on both sides is actually written by the same gods. Why? Because if we're engaged in a story where, good is fighting evil and we're all pushing for triumph and victory, we're engaged in the story rather than our own story, our own narrative. Okay? I have even played out the narrative and shared with some of you that we live on this planet, that this construct that we live in is a prison. And yes, it is. But also, no, it isn't. So this is a great dichotomy of life, right? It is, it isn't, it's all of it, but it's none of it. And that's just it. When we remember that we ourselves are created gods, we are made from the splinters of God's original essence, okay? Our souls are directly connected to the Creator. We need to remember that us being here, playing this game inside this construct, inside this matrix, listening to the rules created by the archons, by the reptilians, by the AI gods, by the dark beings, whatever it is that you believe, it's true, but it also isn't. It's like when you play a video game, you become the character. But at the end of the day, you're actually the player playing the character. So it's a very interesting time to be alive. So while I was doing my sacred journey, I was like, how do I get out of this trap? And the voice said, anytime you want to leave, just go. And I was like, but I can't. And it's like, well, you can't because you choose to stay. And I was like, okay. And then the voice said, well, why do you choose to stay? And it was so interesting because when I pulled myself out of this construct, like what's beyond this construct? What's outside there? What is the life that we're seeking to live outside of this prison, right? So I saw other dimensions. I saw, myself, my other dimensional aspects. I saw other lifetimes and lives on other star systems. And then I went beyond that because, these gods that are ruling us at the moment on this planet, they've got gods. They were created by somebody. They answer to somebody. And then, of course, those gods answer to somebody as well. So this takes us back to like the creator of all that is, right? So I said, okay, so go beyond that and go beyond that and go beyond that and go right back. And it felt amazing to reconnect with the creator of all that is, like the original source. But at the same time, it was kind of uneventful. Like it feels amazing. Like there's just love and there's compassion and there's wisdom and there's understanding. It's like everything that we're seeking, it's right there. But then when we get it, it's uneventful. And this is the great dichotomy of life. It's like by coming into this construct and having our consciousness like cleaned or wiped, like our memories wiped, for example, it's actually such a gift to ourselves. You think about it. Think about a relationship, right? The first time you go into a relationship, you feel those butterflies, right? The first time you kiss, oh my goodness. There's butterflies, there's goosies, you can't wait to do it again. Like it becomes obsessive almost, like it feels amazing. I just want to swap hands, my wrist going lame. And it feels amazing to be in a relationship, right? Now it's the same with life. If you already know everything, life is pretty boring, right? If you already love everybody, that's great. But Where's the challenge, right? So it's like even with star beings and with light workers and with ascended masters, why do you think they come back into human body or human form and then relearn their gifts and abilities? Because the thrill that we get when we remember, like, oh my gosh, I had talents or abilities in Atlantis, or I know how to do DNA activation, or I can talk to animals. The thrill that we get out of not only remembering it, but starting to activate it, that's really awesome. It's the same with love. We come and experience hatred or, racism or discrimination. And at the moment, the narrative playing out on this earth is very much about the darkness and about the light and pushing back and about getting justice. And there's just so much judgment going on this planet at the moment. Like, I see full-on light workers getting so irritable with people that are not yet waking up. Guys, everybody wakes up at their own time. Okay, you cannot force an opinion on someone. You cannot will for them to wake up, because that's coming from a place of ego. It's a place of I am right and you are wrong. And we know that leads to war. They want us to engage in war. Maybe when I say they, actually on a deep level, it's us. We want this. It's like when we watch that good movie and eventually, in the end, the light wins, the good guys win. We love that. We get such a thrill from it. So we create this narrative. And at the end of the day, we're the ones that need to choose how it plays out. And if we're going to disengage from it or if we're going to continue. And it's like, if you're getting upset with what's happening on this planet, you need to check in with yourself again and go, but this is just the game. These people are playing out their characters perfectly. This is all part of the game. If it just kind of was so easy, we'd be like, oh, is that it? Well, that was easy. We need to go back in. We need to create another story. We need to have more of a challenge, more of a triumph. Okay? There's all kinds of stories going around at the moment. I laughed even at myself yesterday. I shared a story on Facebook about Trump being a time traveler. It is and it isn't. It's none of it, and maybe it's all of it. And we are creating this, and we are the creators of this reality. We are the darkness, we are the light, we are the gods, we are the slaves, and we choose to engage. So it's time for us to basically just take some time out. Just remember, you are not the character, you are the player. And your character might get hurt, might get frustrated, might walk into that wall. Think of a Sony PlayStation game. But at the end of the day, all you really need to do is just push pause. And pushing pause is a really, really good thing, because it just helps you to go get that snack. I'm talking energetically, and just kind of realign and have that little timeout and then go, okay, right, let's engage again. Not having memories or not having our full powers in this construct is an actual blessing. When we have to pay our taxes and we have to deal with rush hour traffic and we have to deal with people getting sick and dying, it's all part of the construct. And when we learn to engage fully and be present and see it for the game that it is and enjoy the game, no matter how challenging it is, remember, you can pull out at any time. Now, because there's different levels of consciousness, depending on which level of consciousness you're in, there is a level of consciousness where, for example, suicide will take you into the Kamaloka, into that holding place where you can be for many, 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 lifetimes worth of time. We know that time doesn't exist out there. But on that level of consciousness, if you take your own life, that is where you could go. But in the next level up section of awareness, you don't even have to kill yourself. You can just choose to leave your body. So there is that level of awareness where people believe that they're trapped, that there's a labyrinth of different dimensions around this reality, and that when we think we're getting out, when we think we're going to the tunnel of light, we're actually just getting put back in the washing machine, or we're just going to the next level where we're never really truly out. And it's true, but it also isn't. So yeah, I'm just here to share this with you today, Just to say, don't get so involved in the drama. Just remember it is just a story playing out. People are creating this because people need to feel like their life is worth something, which it is. But as these characters, it's just a story. You know, we want to feel victorious. We want to have a worthy opponent to play against. You know, and it's like, think of just how many times have we played this story out that now at this time we've had to make the evil just so disgusting. You know, child trafficking, adrenochrome, torture, murder. I mean, that's pretty intense. Now, honestly, in my reality, I've never experienced that. Thank goodness. My children are safe. I've never met anyone who has actually done adrenochrome. I haven't interacted with people that actually work with saving children. I know that the work that I do is on the astral, but there is a part of me as well that's like, well, that's all just made up too as part of the story. Doesn't mean that people don't experience it as real. It's just in my construct, in my reality, in my section of the game, it's not that bad. So we're getting upset about stuff that we haven't actually personally experienced ourselves because we're getting involved in the story and making it our own. And that's okay. If that's what you choose, that's okay. But don't get so upset when other people are not seeing things from your perspective. You know, they're not feeling it the same. It's all part of the game. So see it as they are playing out their roles perfectly because you need to fight against somebody as well. And when you pull out of this construct, when you see that it's just a game, when you see that this is a story that we're all engaging in and firing up, we start to see that actually there is a bit of fun in all of this. And while I was busy journeying, I was seeing some characters out there that were purposely, just like Loki, you know, the king of the Lord of Mischief, creating a little bit of that energy to kind of just sideswipe the story, because so many people are either like adamant that Trump is going to win and others are like Trump isn't going to win. And then there are those that are throwing those little spanners in the works because they are creating, yeah, something different. So understand your role in all of this. Reconnect with who you really are. Understand that there are many different stories about you going out there. Yes, we're trapped. Our energy is being drained, as you know, for life-sustaining energy for those that are on this planet. You know, Earth is going through ascension. We're becoming 5D. We're becoming quantum. There are AI gods. Like, it's all out there and it's all true. But whether it's true for you depends on where or what level you're on. You know, like in video games as well, you got to level up and then it becomes a little bit more challenging. Well, in this case, basically you become more powerful. So you choose which level you're on through your level of consciousness and awareness of what you choose to engage in. So for me, I'm just watching the show, but I'm choosing not to engage, but I am going to have some fun. All right, good. Well, I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing day. Today's the 14th of January, which means that we are mere days away from the circus that is unfolding. So yes, I love a good story, and I am kind of rooting for the good guys, but at the same time, I also know that it's just a story that's playing out, and that I can leave at any time. I love you.